Friends, this is called the finale episode, and this episode has maintained its prestige. The makers have resolved all our complaints with this last episode and have built up the excitement again for season 4. Literally, it was super fantastic with lots of hilarious moments. This episode has also been very emotional, though we already knew what was going to happen because we had discussed it earlier. But the way the actors have captured their characters made us feel every single thing. It was solid fun. Let's quickly start the review and explanation because we also need to bring a breakdown video later, and there's a lot to discuss in the breakdown part. It was a solid ending to this season. Hats off to the makers for this brilliant writing. The episode begins with Ellis telling his father and Kenny that Elgin knows something about Fatima, and a plan is made to corner Elgin. On the other hand, Fatima is completely ready for delivery, and the baby was seen moving inside. Meanwhile, Tabitha explains to Jim everything that happened to her in the root cellar. She saw Miranda when she hugged Victor and tells Jim that Miranda was present when the Smiley Monster killed her as she ran to the faraway bottle tree. Boyd brings Sarah to the colony house, where preparations are being made to interrogate Elgin under the watch of Ellis and Kenny. While Elgin was carrying supplements or clothes for Fatima, he is suddenly hit by the people. Boyd, Donna, Sarah, Ellis, and Kenny take Elgin into a room for questioning, but Elgin refuses to reveal where Fatima is, saying that what he is doing is for everyone's good. He says when Fatima's baby is born, the angel woman will take the baby, and then Fatima and he can leave the house safely. At this, Ellis gets angry and starts beating Elgin. Boyd realizes that Elgin will not speak up easily and decides to use third-degree methods. He brings tools like nails, hammers, and ropes from the storeroom to torture Elgin. However, Boyd again sees Father Khatri's spirit, who tries to make him realize that there can be other ways of interrogation because Boyd's actions are turning him into a beast. A debate ensues between Boyd and Father Khatri's spirit over right and wrong, but Boyd doesn't listen and takes the tools to the colony house. Leaving Donna, Kenny, and Ellis outside, Boyd goes into the room and crushes Elgin's hand with a hammer. Still, Elgin doesn't open his mouth. Then Acosta, the lady police officer, intervenes and interrupts Boyd. While Boyd, Acosta, and others argue outside, Sarah sneaks into the room to interrogate Elgin herself. Sarah has dealt with similar angel women situations before and knows that Elgin is severely brainwashed and won't easily confess. After much effort, when Elgin doesn't relent, Sarah does what Boyd was doing earlier. She takes a sharp object and gouges out Elgin's eye. Hearing Elgin's screams, everyone rushes upstairs to see his injured eye. Sarah reveals that Fatima is in the root cellar. Meanwhile, Victor takes his father to a place where he had buried his mother, Miranda, and his sister Ellis. However, Victor does not clearly mention that the buried remains belong to Ellis, only saying they were in small pieces. This emotional moment leaves Victor and his father in tears as they hug and cry together. On the other side, at the diner, Julie explains to Ethan what she saw in the dungeon, including herself, Randall, and Martin, chained and screaming. Then she mentions hearing Victor and Tabitha's voices in the cave, realizing it connects to something from a few days ago. Julie wonders if time travel is involved, suggesting they could go back and save Tien Chen. But Ethan, the genius kid, argues that once something is determined, it can't be changed as it could have severe consequences. This idea ties to the Marvel-like ending of the episode. Meanwhile, the main story focuses on Jim, Jade, and Tabitha, who together try to unravel the mystery of the root cellar. After a conversation with Tabitha, Jim tells Jade everything about Tabitha's vision of Miranda. The three of them decide to go to the faraway cellar for clues. Jade becomes frustrated, realizing that the helpers are not providing clear hints or clues to understand the theory. Jim suggests that the digits on the bottle tree might be musical notes. They return to Jade's house, where Jade starts decoding the digits into musical notes. Suddenly, Jade gets inspired and begins composing the notes. With this realization, the three of them decide to try playing the musical notes at the faraway bottle tree with a violin Jim found at Miranda's house. At the tree, Jade plays the violin, and soon mysterious kids start appearing. One girl kneels near Tabitha, repeating the word Ankh, which hits Tabitha and Jade. The word means remember, and Tabitha suddenly recalls everything. She explains to Jim that she is Miranda from a past life, and Jade is Christopher. Tabitha reveals that they had always been in this town, trying to save their child from being sacrificed. The story becomes emotional as Tabitha describes how children were sacrificed to make the townspeople immortal. Fatima, meanwhile, gives birth to a meat-like baby enclosed in a sack. A demon woman takes the baby through an underground door that opens on its own. Boyd, Kenny, and Ellis find Fatima, who explains that the demon woman took her baby. She reveals that these monsters are the result of people sacrificing their own children for immortality. Boyd follows the demon woman, who places the baby among the monsters in a circular order. The baby rapidly grows and smiles, revealing itself as the Smiley Monster. Meanwhile, Jim mourns alone near a van, recalling how everything began in the first season. Julie appears, urging Jim to run, repeatedly shouting, "Run!" A bald man in a yellow suit appears and tells Jim that that what Jade did was impressive, but digging the pit was a mistake. The man slits Jim's throat, killing him, as Julie screams. The episode ends with many unanswered questions. Who is the man in yellow? Is he the controller of this place? And was the second Julie from the future? The breakdown video will address these mysteries. Stay tuned for the breakdown video, which will drop tonight or tomorrow morning. How did you find this episode? Let us know in the comments. If you liked the video, like it and subscribe to the channel.